They call it Styes Rock. It's 12 miles off the coast, just a sliver of granite sticking out of the Atlantic throat. For 100 years, 3 men manned the light. They kept the wick trimmed, the brass polished, the gears oiled. Then, in '94, the entire crew vanished during a nor'easter. The logbook was empty. The lamps were cold. They automated it after that. Said it was safer. But machines break. I'm Thomas Vance, a structural engineer for the Maritime Authority. I was sent out yesterday to fix the rotation mechanism before the storm of the decade hit. I fixed the gears, but I should have let the light stay dead, because at 3:14 this morning, the light stopped turning on its own, and it wasn't looking at the sea. The boat dropped me off at high tide. The swells were already 15 feet. By the time I got my gear onto the catwalk, the boat was gone, swallowed by the gray horizon. The inside of Styes Rock is a vertical coffin of iron and stone. 164 steps spiral up a central shaft that smells of diesel oil, old salt, and something else. Something copper like dried blood. It was just me and the sound of the storm muted by 3 feet of granite. My job was up top, in the lantern room. The primary rotation gears were grinding. If they seized up, the focused beam of the Fresnel lens could start a fire, or worse, mislead a ship. I spent the first 4 hours climbing, hauling my tools up that endless spiral. Every step echoed, and the higher I got, the more I felt the tower sway in the wind. It wasn't just the wind, though. It felt like the stone itself was breathing. The lantern room is the only place with windows. It's a glass cage at the top of the world. In the center sits the Fresnel lens, 12 feet tall, a beehive of precision-cut glass prisms designed to take a single bulb and turn it into a piercing finger of light visible for 20 miles. It's beautiful and terrifying. When you stand next to it, it feels like standing next to a sleeping god. I got to work on the pedestal gears below the lens. They were chewed up, slipping. I replaced the bearings, re-greased the tracks. It was heavy, greasy work. By midnight, the storm was peaking. Rain hit the glass so hard it sounded like gravel. The wind screamed around the catwalk outside. I threw the main breaker. The bulb flared to life, blindingly bright inside the prism. The gears engaged with a heavy clunk, and the massive lens began its slow, hypnotic rotation. Hum, click. Hum, click. 4 seconds of light, 4 seconds of dark. I sat back against the cold iron wall, watching it turn. It was mesmerizing, until I noticed the rhythm was off. It started around 3 a.m. The smooth hum-click changed. It became a grind clack. The whole tower vibrated with the effort of the machinery. I checked the amperage. The motor was drawing double the power, fighting against something. I looked at my watch. 3:13 a.m. Then the noise stopped. At exactly 3:14, with a sound like a gunshot, a primary gear tooth sheared off. The safety brake slammed home. The rotation stopped dead. The massive lens was frozen, pointing its million-candle power beam in a single fixed direction, straight out to the east, toward the deepest water off the shelf. The silence in the lantern room was sudden and sickening, save for the storm outside. I should have cut the power. The bulb was already overheating the stationary lens, but I couldn't move. I just stared along that fixed beam of light cutting through the rain. It was illuminating something out there in the black water. At first, I thought it was a rogue wave breaking, but waves don't have skin. Something immense was rising where the light touched the water. It was slick, black, and barnacled. It broke the surface slowly, deliberately, drawn upwards by the focused beam. It wasn't a ship. It wasn't a whale. It was geometry that didn't belong in nature. A spire of wet black rock or flesh, rising higher and higher, right in the path of the light. And as it rose, I realized the light hadn't just broken. It had been stopped. It was being held. I realized why the previous crew vanished. They didn't leave. They were called down to the water. I killed the light. I smashed the main breaker box with a wrench until the sparks stopped flying and the bulb died. When darkness fell back over the ocean, the thing out there roared. It wasn't a sound I heard, it was a sound I felt in my bone marrow. I ran down the 164 steps. I'm sitting by the steel door at the base now, waiting for dawn. Waiting for the storm to break so the boat can come back. The automated system is destroyed. They'll have to send a manned crew back out here to fix it. I'm leaving this recording in the logbook. If you are the crew they sent, don't fix the gears. Some things in the deep prefer the dark, but others are just waiting for a light to show them the way up.